We've been together for 14 years. I loved her to the point of pain. But one day I returned home ahead of time. And I saw her with someone else. That's what happened next. Hi guys. This is my first post here, but I have to speak up. I don't know if this will help, but I need to tell someone. Maybe someone will understand. Maybe there will even be someone who has gone through it himself. I am 39 years old. My wife and I have been together for 14 years. Of these, 10 are married. We have 2 children. Son, 8, and daughter, 5. It would seem an ordinary family. No crises, no scandals. It's just life, work, kids, routine. Sometimes we quarreled, of course. There were moments when it seemed that we had stopped understanding each other. But I always thought we'd be together. Until the end. Until that night. Heartbreak Part 1. Surprise, I was on a business trip. I was sent away for 5 days. We agreed with my wife that I would fly back in 3 days to spend time with the children and relax a little at home. I decided to make a surprise. I didn't tell you in advance. I arrived in the evening. Everything was calm. Cars in the yard, lights in the windows, the TV is on. He went into the house. I put down my suitcase. I kissed the children. They were already asleep. He went into the bedroom. And I saw them. They had sex. On our bed. Under our blanket. She was on top. He's under it. When they heard me, they both froze. She screamed. She pulled the sheet. He tried to stand up. I didn't move. I just watched. It was as if everything was happening in slow motion. He left a minute later. Without words. No excuses. She came out to me. She was crying. I wanted to explain. I just said, "Pack his things. Go away." Part 2. The pain that cannot be expressed in words. I sat on the living room floor all night. I didn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling. He didn't cry. He didn't scream. I just didn't feel anything. It was as if my heart had shut down. The next day, she asked for a chance. She wanted to talk. I agreed to listen only once. If I hear excuses, everything will be over. She said. He was a neighbor. They met by chance. He helped with the repairs. She began to feel invisible. That I became colder after the birth of my daughter. That he stopped seeing her as a woman. He looked at me the way you used to, she said. I still remember those words. Part 3. Trying to start over. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to forgive her. I wanted to save my family. I loved her. I still love you. But the trust was destroyed. She's gone. For a month. Then she came back. We started going to a family therapist. I could see that she really wanted to fix the mistakes. That she was in pain. That she was suffering too. It's been almost 6 months. We live together. Sometimes it feels like we're warm again. Sometimes I remember that night, and my heart sinks. Part 4. Internal unanswered questions. Now I'm wondering. Is it possible to fully restore trust? Can a person change after such a thing? Is it worth continuing if an alarm bell is constantly ringing inside you? Or is it better to live in pain than in constant fear of losing again? Sometimes I think I should just walk away. But the children, and love, and for many years, and the desire to try again. Red Heart Part 5. What I understood. If you're reading this and you recognize yourself, you should know, cheating is not always the end. Sometimes it's a signal. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's a choice. Pain doesn't mean you're broken. And love. Sometimes it's worth fighting for. Speech Balloon Part 6. Talking to children one evening changed everything. I knew that sooner or later the kids would ask, "Why did Mom leave?" My wife and I agreed to speak honestly, but gently. My son is 8 years old. He has already asked questions. My daughter is 5. She was just bored. We gathered for dinner. I said, "Mom left for a while because she needed to sort herself out. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It just happened. We try to be there for you because we love you more than anything in the world." The son cried a little. He hugged her. Then me. He said, "I thought you'd left us forever." It hurt more than any answer. Part 7. Therapy. 2 weeks after her return, we started seeing a family therapist. She insisted. I agreed, even though there was complete chaos inside. The first session was hell. We were forced to talk about our feelings, what we had lost, and what we wanted. I was crying. For the first time in many years. She said, I don't want to lose you. I don't want my children to see their parents falling apart. But I don't want to pretend that nothing happened. It is necessary to heal, not to cover up. The psychologist said, cheating is not just an act of physical intimacy. It's an emotional rift between two people. To patch it up, you don't just need to apologize. We need to learn how to be around again. Part 8. I started to see myself in her one day. At one of the sessions, the psychologist asked, you're mad at her for cheating on you. When was the last time you were the man she wanted for her? This question hit harder than any truth. And I understood. Yes, I was faithful. Yes, I did. But I stopped being desired. He stopped being alive. Part 9. I started working on myself. I signed up for a workout. He began to take care of himself. I started doing what I used to do when we were young. Giving flowers, complimenting, surprising. I'm not doing this for her. I'm doing this for us. Because now I understand that marriage is not fate. It's a job. Daily. It's heavy. Sometimes invisible. Part 10. What can I say now? It's been almost 10 months since I caught her with him. We are not perfect. We have moments when the pain returns. There are nights when I wake up thinking, what if she lied again? But there are other nights. The ones where we're lying next to each other, holding hands and just being silent. Where I feel her breath and understand, she's with me. She chose me. Sparkle's conclusion. I do not know what our relationship will look like in a year. In 5 years. But I know one thing. We didn't let one night ruin 14 years of our history. Instead, we made it the beginning of a new path. Continuation of the story. After I saw her with someone else, I started to see myself in it. Thank you to everyone who has read this far. I know this story is long, but it's important. For me, and maybe for you too. It's been a few months since I returned home ahead of time. After I saw her with someone else. After my life collapsed in an instant. It seemed to me that it was all about her. That she betrayed me, us, a family, children. But over time, I began to understand. It's not just her fault. This is our common crisis. Part 1. You stopped being who I wanted you to be. One night we were talking. Not about what happened. It's about how we got to this point. We didn't fight. We just lay there and talked. And she said, you've become a stranger. Not evil, not violent, just absent. You didn't look at me the way you used to. He didn't kiss me for nothing. I didn't say I was beautiful. Sometimes it seemed to me that you even forgot that I was a woman. That you only see me as a mom, a hostess, an assistant. Those words hurt, because I didn't expect to hear them. And because they were true. Part 2. The first family therapy session. We started seeing a family therapist a couple of weeks after she returned. She insisted. I agreed, even though there was complete chaos inside. The first meeting was hell. We were sitting opposite each other. There is silence in the room. Only the psychologist's voice. You didn't come here to find out who was to blame. You are here to understand why you are at this point. And are you ready to move on together? He asked us. What have you lost? What do you want to get back? What are you ready to change? These questions were difficult to answer. Especially the first two. But then I said, I lost her. And maybe myself, too. Part 3. We decided to start all over again, not as husband and wife. It's like two people who want to be together again. We agreed. No automatisms. No responsibilities. Only honesty. We will rebuild our relationship. It's like we've met for the first time. We started talking more, without fear, no charges. They just laid out their feelings. I told her, I'm afraid that you'll leave again. But most of all, I'm afraid that I'll become the person who loses you again. She replied, I'm scared too. I'm afraid you'll never fully believe me. But I want you to know that I don't want to be with someone else. I want to be with you, even if it's difficult. Part 4. The pain has not gone away, but you know what the strangest thing is? I can't say that I've completely forgiven her. Sometimes I still get angry. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing control. Sometimes I think, and if she leaves again? But I'm staying, because love doesn't always forgive, but sometimes it gives you a second chance. Part 5. I started working on myself. I signed up for a workout. He began to take care of himself. I started doing what I used to do when we were young. Giving flowers, complimenting, surprising. I'm not doing this for her. I'm doing this for us. Because now I understand that marriage is not fate. It's a job. Daily. It's heavy. Sometimes invisible. Part 6. What I learned about trust. Trust is not a visa that can be issued once and forgotten. It's a daily decision. Sometimes you take it easy. Sometimes, through force. Sometimes I still check her phone. Sometimes I'm ashamed of it. Sometimes I say it out loud. I'm not checking because I don't believe you. I'm checking because I'm afraid of losing you. This is my pain, not your sin. And she's not offended. She just says, I'm here. I'm staying. As long as you're around, I'm not going anywhere. Red Heart Part 7. We started to see the light. We are not perfect. We have moments when the pain returns. There are nights when I wake up thinking, what if she lied again? But there are other nights. The ones where we're lying next to each other, holding hands and just being silent. Where I feel her breath and understand, she's with me. She chose me. Part 8. If you're in the same situation right now, I want to tell you, forgiveness is not weakness. It's a power. Pain is not a sentence. This is an opportunity to get closer. Love after betrayal is possible, but it takes work. And most importantly, no one is obligated to forgive. But if you decide to stay, do it consciously. Sparkle's conclusion. I do not know what our relationship will look like in a year. In 5 years. But I know one thing. We didn't let one night ruin 14 years of our history. Instead, we made it the beginning of a new path.